The National Priority Committee, comprising of various government departments and co-chaired by IEC, the South African Police Service, SANDF, the State Security Agency, was established about a year ago. This committee is set to ensure the development and actualization of a security strategy that encompasses the implementation of command and control measures to protect the integrity and credibility of the 2024 NPE. The executive management of the South African Police Service recently visited each province to assess their state of readiness. The work done with the respective provincial commissioners at the HEM confirms that indeed all provinces are ready and have put measures in place to prevent and combat incidents of violence and criminality before, during, and post-elections. It is worth noting that training of law enforcement agencies on Electoral Act and other legislations in support of the 2024 national and provincial government elections have been conducted. Ladies and gentlemen, the planning for safety and security of the general elections has been finalized. The operational phase will commence from Wednesday, the 22nd of May, with the activation of the NatJoins Coordination Center until the 9th of June, or any time as the intelligence will advise. The center has operated in various locations in the past. During the COVID-19, we operated from the Reserve Bank of South Africa and other locations before and after the closure of the 2019 COVID-19 Operational Command Center at the Reserve Bank. This center, which is equipped with the state-of-the-art modern technology, will be officially opened by the JCPS ministers on Friday, the 24th of May, 2024, the details of which will be communicated accordingly. The NatJoins Coordination Center is opening around the clock, is operating around the clock, closely monitoring the situation in the country through proactive identification of threats and vulnerabilities. The center serves as a central point of contact for coordination of information and the reporting of the incidents to ensure a swift, prompt, and coordinated response. This is where all operations in relation to major events in the country, including the upcoming NPE, will be coordinated from. The National Coordination Center, or NCC, is mirrored at provincial level through the Prof Joints, activated through the Provincial Joints Operational Centers. The NatJoins and Prof Joints 5-pillar approach is being implemented to ensure that all areas of concern are covered. That includes intelligence gathering, analysis and coordination, proactive approach, which includes high visibility to police to prevent and respond to crime eventualities. Combat approach through law enforcement in response to any violation of the law through deployment of specialized units supported by the South African National Defence Force should the need arise. Reactive approach through detection and case management. And the fifth and the last phase will be the awareness and information sharing that has been and will be led by GCIS, the IEC, the NAT joints and other government departments in keeping interest parties and communities at home and abroad updated through messaging that will enhance the safety and security of everyone in the country. The media will continuously be updated on a daily basis during the election period by NAT joints. Working through the Operational Intelligence Coordination Committee, OICC, we have identified the number of high-risk voting stations and potentially volatile areas that are being monitored on an ongoing basis. Deployments are subsequently proportional to the level of risk identified through intensified operations informed by thorough analysis and intelligence-based reports. Threats identified, such as community protests, are already being attended to, and those that are found to be in contravention of the law are being dealt with. Our public order policing units are on the ground and are ready to prevent and combat any such incidents. We are aware of social media posts calling for shutdown by a group of truck drivers this week. As previously communicated, there will be zero tolerance towards threats, intimidation, and closure of our roads. Law enforcement agencies are on high alert to ensure there are no criminal activities and that law-abiding citizens are not inconvenienced in any way. We call on the road freight industry workers to communicate their grievances within the confines of the law. We reiterate our stance that no lawlessness and any form of criminality will be tolerated. We are in the first phase of our election plan. To this end, the NAT joints is satisfied that from a security point of view, the screening of voter registration, policing of gatherings, celebrations and demonstrations, intensifying stabilization at hotspots areas across the country, enhancing visibility and ensuring crime prevention around election-related matters is being executed within precision. The second phase of the election, which is the period from the 27th up until the announcement of the results, will see the static deployments at voting stations, escorting of voting material, escorting of IEC officials and any officials of interest, securing of election warehouses, transportation of voting material, and enforcement of Electoral Act. During the voting days, the 27th to the 29th, the role of law enforcement agencies is therefore to maintain law and order, provide escort to voting stations and warehouses, accompany mobile voting stations, ensure no firearms and dangerous weapons are allowed at voting stations, assist presiding officers by removing anyone who fails to comply with rules that infringe on the rights of voters within the voting station, assist the presiding officers to ensure no political activities take place within the boundaries of the voting stations, assist the presiding officer to remove any person behaving in an inappropriate and undesirable manner from the voting station, ensure that those who have been banned from the voting station for an unbecoming behavior do not attempt to enter the voting station. They will accompany the presiding officers to deliver ballot boxes and other election security material to the counting stations, ensure the voting stations and surroundings are secured by assisting presiding officers with the monitoring of the boundaries of the voting station, ensure that no person either than a voter or person authorized to enter or remain within the boundaries of the voting stations, assist to ensure safety and security at voting stations until the counting and wrapping up procedures have been completed, assist the presiding officer in enforcing the Electoral Code of Conduct in respect of the following: undue influence, impersonation, intentional false statement, and infringement of secrecy. Actions has been taken by those who have found themselves on the wrong side of the law. To date, during the first and the second voter registration weekend, we have seen 50 cases which were reported, with 45 persons arrested. Gauteng reported most arrests, which is 11, Gauteng alone, followed by Limpopo with 9 arrests, Northwest 8, and Mpumalanga 4. A breakdown of arrests per charges is as follows: 11 persons were arrested for public violence, 10 were arrested for contravening the Electoral Act, 9 were arrested for assault, 2 were arrested for malicious damage to property, and 13 were arrested for other election-related cases. During the period after the voter registration weekend, 23 cases were reported. We take this opportunity to remind our communities that the Constitution of our country provides that every citizen is free to make political choices, which include the right to participate in activities of or recruit members for a political party and to campaign for a political party or cause. With this being said, we caution communities not to vandalize, deface, and remove posters of political parties, as this constitute an offense. Anyone found to be tampering with these posters or vandalizing them will be arrested. Such cases have since been reported and arrests have been made. For example, in Sasolburg in the Free State, a 64-year-old woman was seen in a video tampering with a poster. She was arrested and charged for contravention of Electoral Act 73 of 1998, which prohibits the unlawful removal and defacing of posters published by a registered party. I must say, with number of engagements that we had on our previous elections, we have since seen the decline, which confirms the maturity of our residents and society in this type of acts. The woman has since been released on warning. In Gauteng, a 70-year-old man who was also seen on a video illegally removing a posters was also arrested. Investigations are continuing to trace those behind the removal of posters in areas where they have been reported. The police are investigating 2 cases of break-in in IEC offices in Houghton, in Gauteng, and Caledon in the Western Cape. The Houghton case, where a laptop has been stolen, the investigation is still underway. In the Western Cape, 7 suspects were arrested in Caledon after they broke into the IEC offices and stole a banner and a projector. All 7 suspects have appeared in court and were remanded in custody. In relation to the last phase of the election plan, which is the period after election results have been officially announced, plans are already in place to police the celebrations and gatherings. Preparations for inauguration of the president are also in full swing. These celebrations and gatherings will be policed through both SASRIA and Gatherings Acts. With this said, it is clear from our side that no lawlessness and any form of violence and criminality will be tolerated by law enforcement. The long arm of the law will not be selective, nor will it be to those who attempt to disrupt the smooth running of our elections. We urge all South Africans from all walks of life to conduct themselves accordingly and to embrace their democratic rights. We assure you all that maximum deployments and resources have been mobilized to ensure a successful execution of this operational plan. Command and control measures are in place. The South African Police Service as a lead department will lead operations and will be supported by the members in the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster, such as the National Defence Force, the Department of Home Affairs, the Metro Police Departments, and other supporting departments. Our main priority is to ensure a safe and secure elections and that voters exercise their democratic right without being intimidated, harassed, or threatened. It is important to highlight and ensure communities that normal crime prevention and policing operations will continue during the duration of the elections. One of our biggest threats at the moment is fake news. We strongly condemn the spreading of fake news, unverified information, rumors, or threats, as this seeks to cause panic and confusion, and in some instances, incite possible violence. We urge members of the public to fact-check first before sharing anything on social media platforms. Those who are found to be sharing inflammatory messages and inciting violence will be charged accordingly. We therefore urge a prompt reporting of these incidents to ensure that law enforcement deals with such issues. One person has already appeared in Chatsworth Magistrate Court on charges of contravening the Riotous Assemblies Act 17 of 1956, which prohibits gatherings that could endanger public space or public peace. We are making a clarion call on political leaders to be responsible in the manner in which they communicate on public platform. We have noted an increase in number of service delivery related protests. To mitigate this, increased policing visibility through the deployment of the public order policing units have been made to potentially volatile areas to address large crowds. We will continue to work closely with key role players to monitor developments and to attend to them. I must reiterate that we all know that we have adopted in May 2023 what we call Operation Chanela. Those operations are continuing and they will continue even during this period to ensure that crime prevention in our areas continues without any disturbance. Law enforcement agencies are on the ground and will continue to apply fundamental policing principles guided by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Every law enforcement officer has a responsibility and an obligation to execute their mandate professionally, impartially, and with integrity, and to do so within the confines of the law of the country. Law enforcement officers are apolitical and will enforce the law without fear, favor, or prejudice. With this said, the message is clear. The NAT joins, with the help of law-abiding citizens, is ready to ensure the safety and security of the 2024 general elections. I thank you.